What is going on, faithful? Coming to you guys live. It's the 31st of July. Just finished 49ers training camp. And just wanted to go through some of my notes and some of the things we saw today. A significant amount of players out today. There was no Feliciano again. So, again, positive, negative. You got Dominick Puni out there getting all the reps with the ones. Looked good again today. But the angle where I was at, I was focusing a little bit more on the secondary and linebackers. So, whereas yesterday it was all on number 77, today's a little bit different. But no Burford either, even though he was spotted walking alongside with a cast on his hand. I don't know if it was a cast or a wrap or whatever. If he's had that surgery, we'll see what happens with Kyle Shanahan whenever he updates that. But also Aaron Banks was out. And so, not too shocked to see Dominick Puni start at right guard again. Very shocked to see Nick Zakelj get the start at left guard. And so your interior defensive line was Zakelj, Brendel, Puni. Quite interesting, especially whenever you look at how many guards the 49ers have on expiring contracts this year. Like, is this a peek into the future? I don't know. But Zakelj did all right. Didn't do terribly well. Again, I didn't focus a lot on the interior offensive line today as I did yesterday. And so take that for what you will. No Danny Gray and no Jennings as well. So the offensive line was down several starters. Wide receivers, like Chris Conley got to start at the X position, the Ayuk role. That's where he was. So you saw him out there. And, I mean, it was different. And I think the offense went accordingly, as if they were down 4 or 5 starters. Because if you're counting everybody, the people that just missed practice today, the holdouts, the hold-ins, all that stuff, it kind of makes sense. Not so much that the offense had a bad day or that the offense was terrible. It wasn't. Didn't really turn the ball over, protected the ball well. But I would definitely give, the practice to the defense today, who was pretty much with almost everybody out there. They had most of their starters. You look at the defensive starters across the way, I mean, they had pretty much everybody. And again, I have talked about this in the past in a couple of the other shows. I'm telling you right now, DFF is going to play a huge role in this team's defense. Not only is he the only person that has gotten first team reps at the Sam, the number 3 linebacker role. The only other one that did was Curtis Robinson the day DFF missed. But he's also getting all the backup Mike snaps as well behind Fred Warner. So, DFF is the number 3 linebacker. DFF is the number 4 linebacker at Mike. And I know a lot of the questions that I got on Twitter were like, but everybody's saying D. Winters looks good. D. Winters looks great. Made several key plays today. He is only taking the will linebacker snaps. That's it. So Devondre Campbell's got the ones on lockdown, and D. Winters is the number 2 guy. And so, I don't know what that looks like, what rotation that's going to be, because, I think the only way that D. Winters sees the field at all is if Devondre Campbell has a injury or something along those lines. Now, once Greenlaw returns, he was out there at practice, saw him a couple times walking around. What does that look like? Does Devondre Campbell bump to the same spot? Greenlaw is going to get his spot back, I'm sure. So we'll see what that looks like. But the rotations that the Niners are going through, they're one and the same of what they have been. And so, in the offseason, you hear 49ers are going to be doing 3 safety sets. And, 49ers are going to be doing more 3 wide receivers. No, absolutely not through training camp. The 49ers philosophy, what they have done works defensively, offensively, scheme, personnel, matchings, whatever. They're not changing anything. And I'm not sitting here and saying they're vanilla or whatever else, but this idea of adapting personnel and or scheme, no, that 100% is not happening at all. This is the Shanahan system, and it doesn't even matter if all your wide receivers or all your tight ends or whatever else. It's Shanahan, and it's going to continue to be Shanahan. Now, I see Josh in the chat says DFF isn't good. I do feel like today was one of his better days. And so I thought that he played really, really well. What's up, Ty? Appreciate you guys. I will say one of the pleasant surprises of camp has been George Odom. Last year was terrible. I mean, he was so bad that you were seeing Taylor Hawkins get reps ahead of him in the preseason games. man, Odom's belonged, and he's getting his hands on a lot of footballs, and he's taken probably one of the largest step ups or increase in play. And, Nick Sorensen said that at the conclusion of OTAs and minicamps. And I was like, really? Like, that's kind of all right, whatever. But man, being at these training camp practices, I can tell you, like, George Odom is playing the best safety that he has played all of his entire career. He had that one year where he filled in like 8 games for the Colts and was decent. But we'll see now. And what's up, Jason? Appreciate you, Jason Massey. Talanoa Hufanga was around. You saw him walking around. He was even jogging around. Whenever he comes back, that's his job. But again, like, after the conclusion of the draft, we're always like, oh, this player, man, he's going to be pushing to start and whatever else. Absolutely not. Like, there is no rookie that is pressing for starting snaps other than maybe Dominick Puni, but Spencer Burford will get those, and John Feliciano will get those snaps whenever they return. It's just, again, what does Shanahan always say? I need to know that the moment's not too big for them, and they're going to be ready for the occasion, and, you can put them in, and you don't have to worry about it. So that's going to continue. It's more of the same, and it kind of makes sense. How have the 49ers performed? Well, back-to-back division titles, NFC Championship berth, then a Super Bowl appearance, all that stuff. Yeah, you're not winning it all, but you got to get there. And so I really don't see things taking a dramatic shift, play calling, scheme, or any of those things. And Josh, yeah, your guy. Heard Bill is not doing so well. He's not getting a lot of reps. He's not on the first or second team, and he's stiff. Like, I know he's got the speed, straight line, and all that stuff, but it's hard to find any splash plays with him. And the rotation, even in the one-on-one drills and all those things, just not seeing a lot. And so I understand he's got the 4.4 speed. I think he's going to have to make his time count in the preseason. But, I mean, you got Sam Akun, I'm going to pronounce his name incorrectly, Sam O, getting a lot of those snaps at defensive end. And so you've got Yatir Gross-Matos, you've got Sam O, you've got Barrett, who's definitely getting way more snaps than Beal is as well. So, we were hoping some of those sophomore players would be ready to take that next step up. That's not the case. It really hasn't been the case. And, if you're looking for positives, here's a positive. Man, as far as I know, and again, we got to wait till Kyle Shanahan talks, pretty health solid. Not a lot of injuries. Yeah, there's the hamstring issues and whatever else. Hasn't been any really major injuries. And so that's positive. Yeah, there's always going to be bumps and bruises and strains and whatever in training camp. But they're getting through them. Now, I will say this. We did have another Fred Warner throwdown CMC. Seems like it's every other day. Whenever those two meet, freaking throwing them to the ground. It's just what it is. Now, we did see a lot of kickoff return stuff today. Let me just preface this by saying I really dislike the way practice goes whenever it heads to special teams time. And again, this is just my own preference from being a former coach. I want players getting reps. I want to coach in the room. I want to coach on the board. I want to coach in film. I don't want people sitting around listening to me talk on the practice field. You don't have much time. And so they had 2 8-minute periods to work kickoff and kickoff return. Most of those times, you had 50-plus people staring at Snyder, the special teams coordinator, just listening to him talk. The second 8-minute period, they got 5 reps. 5 reps. Now you are orchestrating a full kickoff team, a full kickoff return team, all that stuff. I get it. I'm just telling you, there's a reason why the 49ers special teams has been so abysmal for 7+ years. This is the second coordinator now. It's rough, man. I was literally sweating, not because of the temperature. It's beautiful and comfortable down here in Santa. I was just like, the coach inside of me was just like, what the hell is happening? Why is nobody doing anything? And not doing anything. And so, like, this is a brand new thing, and we're just listening to one man talk. Anyway, now the kickoff returners, I thought this was pretty fun. There were a lot of guys back there. Ricky Pearsall, Trent Taylor, Debo, Ronnie Bell, Kyle Juszczyk, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Patrick Taylor Jr., and Ambry Thomas, which, they were even trying a couple trick plays and stuff with, end arounds, kind of a reverse type look and a pitch type look, which was fun. But Yeah, me personally, if I could pick the two people to put back there, I'm putting Jordan Mason and I'm putting Ricky Pearsall. Thunder and Lightning. Those are the guys that I want to get more touches, manufacture touches without putting wear and tear on your quote unquote starters or, seasoned vets. But that's just me. It's not like, okay, who looked good? It's kickoff. You're fielding the ball off the tee. Now, our kickoff team, only Jake Moody took kicks. Mitch was back there, Mitch Wisnowski. He didn't take any kicks. So you can say for whatever you want to take for that. But it seems like Moody's going to be the guy. So that's what it's going to be. Now, one-on-ones were a lot of fun today. It was a lot of running backs, tight ends versus linebackers, safeties. Wide receivers and corners kind of got a break. Again, don't know, like this practice almost felt like, hey, we're going to focus on team. We're going to rest a lot of the starters. And so, yeah, they're practicing, but like even Debo didn't get his normal reps in team drill. So it was kind of like, let's focus on some things maybe we haven't focused on. And so it's not a day off, and we're still going to do team and red zone. But the one-on-ones were interesting. It was backs and tight ends versus linebackers and safeties. CMC, unbelievable. Doesn't matter who goes against them. Fred Warner, he just torches them. Ran an option route. Just every time CMC's out there, you're just like, oh man, somebody's about to get cooked. Now, one of the positives I did want to say, Cameron Latu had some positive plays. He had some negative plays. He always has negative plays, but he had several positive plays blocking, which was huge in the red zone drill. I mean, some very aggressive, not like decleating, and it's weird because you'll see Braden Willis out there, and then you'll see Cameron Latu kind of run similar style. Braden Willis is killing people out there. Braden Willis took a huge step up. His receiving his routes are the biggest issue. He doesn't create any separation. Him and Ronnie Bell are kind of similar in that. But, man, his blocking is A1. Like, Braden Willis is blocking top tier. Cameron Latu's not super far behind. Like, he is doing the dirty work. I saw him block down on Nick Bosa one play and held his own. Did really, really good. The ball got outside. So, positives from Cameron Latu is a good thing. Eric Saubert's going to be the tight end too, 100%. Now, early on in team drills, this was interesting. There were back-to-back plays when the ones were out there where Brock Purdy was just off with Ricky Pearsall. That was early on. Later in red zone, it seemed to be kind of remedied. And both the first plays were in-breaker routes, one from the offensive left, one from the offensive right. Both passes were just behind Pearsall. And it's not like he's like out there, blazing Danny Gray speed or whatever else. It was just seemed like the chemistry was off. The second team drill, that changed. And, it started with a quick out route. That's what Pearsall, like, what does Brock Purdy like? He likes those quick outs. And so he was lined up against, Ricky Pearsall was lined up against Isaac Yadam. Just quick 5-yard speed route, just catch, boom, throw. And it was nice. It was like, okay, that was clean. That was clean. And, then I got right here, Pearsall had a really nice block to the echo of the whistle, almost got a little stir up going with the defense. I couldn't tell who he was blocking at the time, but it was just like I was just paying attention. And you can see he pissed the defender off, and I'm like, all right, this is the physicality that, we want to see. Then later, Pearsall caught a touchdown. It was kind of like a fake post, like it was a fake post kind of seam. It was an empty set. CMC kind of curled. Linebacker came up. He jab stepped the safety, and boom, like Purdy hit him just in stride, wide open in the back of the end zone. Incredible. There were a couple more just positive plays from Pearsall, which I really, really liked. One of the plays, it was a contested catch, and the ball got popped up. It wasn't so much of a juggle as he got hit whenever the ball came in, and it's like, ball's in the air. He fought through it, even through the contact, and it was just good. Like, this is only like his really second team-oriented practice that he's had with the 49ers. And he's playing all over the place. You're seeing him in slot. You're seeing him in the Z roll. You're seeing him in the X roll. Like, they're moving him. They're giving him a lot to learn, especially with, the uncertainty with, Ayuk and all those things. But, it seems like they want him in that Z Debo role the most. That's just my interpretation. I could be totally off on that, but take that for what you will. So overall, good practice. Brock Purdy protected the ball. I wouldn't say it was near his best day, but, you got to remember, no Trent. He's missing 2 other offensive, so he's down 3 offensive linemen. He's missing, Ayuk, and Jennings didn't practice today either. So, like, for the people that are like, okay, well, he's just a system, whatever, I don't buy into that. But you take 5 starters off of an offense for any offense, you're going to see some struggles. You're going to see some hiccups. And I think we saw that today. But they did protect the ball. I did think Brandon Allen continues to outshine Josh Dobbs by a considerable margin. I don't think I don't know. Dobbs has the athleticism, and there was one play in team where he kind of broke the pocket, went through his first, second read, and just took off running, and probably would have ran for like 40 yards. And so, like, yeah, the athleticism that Dobbs brings, that's awesome. But as far as operating within Shanahan's system, it is light and day difference with what Brandon Allen is doing and just running the scheme compared to what Josh Dobbs does. Now, how much of that is because, Brandon Allen's been here. He didn't look that way last year. He's taken a giant stride forward being in, just a full another training camp and Shanahan's scheme. So that's part of it as well. Now, that's going to do it for this show here. Overall, good practice, good vibes. Lots of, saw IU dapping up John Lynch and Shanahan and all that stuff. So positive things. We'll see. We'll be back at training camp some next week and have some more of these reports. And, man, if you haven't checked out our 91-man roster countdown, head over to YouTube. We're putting a lot of work on there. We got 29 more to go, I believe, which we're going to get done, which I'm really excited about. But until next time, appreciate everybody. And as always, stay strong, faithful.